All right. Oh my God. Hades hath frozen over. Al Haymon and Oscar De La Hoya's companies have struck a deal for a fight for a 154-pound welterweight clash for the WBO belt. See, the WBO is involved. You know, the WBO that people say that the PBC doesn't recognize. And there's a reason why this is very important to me. It should be very important to people in boxing. Let's talk the people that really want to see unification in boxing. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Al Haymon through TGB Promotions. You know, Tom Brown, the guy that replaced Lou DiBella as one of the favored promoters by the PBC, who are organizing PBC events. They struck a deal with Golden Boy Promotions for Brian Castano to fight the WBO 154-pound champion Teixeira, and I do believe they avoided going to a purse bid, and I do believe that the fight is going to be on DAZN. That is, for me, that is great news. And it's great, even though some people might say, well, you know, who is Brian Castano? Most of my subscribers will not say who is Brian Castano, right? And Teixeira. Okay, what's the big deal about that? The big deal is that this is besides the fact that it shows that Al Haymon and the PBC will work with other promoters, okay, on fights that they want, and that you can put Oscar De La Hoya in the position where he has to, because if he hadn't struck a deal with these dudes for this WBO belt, then it would have went to purse bid, and more than likely TGB is going to beat Golden Boy in a purse bid, all right, because they have more money over there. They tend to win their purse bids, and I don't know how many purse bids Golden Boy has won, but I know that Top Rank has been taking some L's. I know Matchroom takes L's. A lot of those guys take L's in those purse bids when they come down to it. Guy can just come from left field and beat you in a purse bid. So anyway, and it's good to see that there could be a relationship between the WBO and the PBC. And they'd actually have a PBC fighter with a belt at the end of this fight. But the most significant part of that is that WBO 154-pound belt has been held hostage by Golden Boy in the personage of Jaime Munguia for a while now. Okay, it's been held ever since Miguel Cotto, in his retirement fight, last couple fights, I do believe, decided to sign and fight with Golden Boy Promotions, and Golden Boy had him fight when he lost to what's the kid's name, Saddam Ali. He lost to Saddam Ali, and then Saddam Ali lost to Jaime Munguia. So with all the stuff that's going on over there in the 154-pound division, and if you've been paying attention to the 154-pound division, you know that there's been great fights between J-Rock, Jermell Charlo, Tony Harrison, Jared Hurd, Eris Landy Lara. Eris Landy Lara actually fought, believe that he fought to a draw with Brian Castano. You know, this fight that man, please don't let me forget. If I forgot J-Rock, forgive me, but I don't think I did. But definitely not let me forget Jason Rosario, who is the unified IBF, the unified IBF and WBA champion. All these guys are fighting each other, and there's a legitimate chance that these guys could come together and unify those three belts. But for this whole time that this has been taking place, the idea of having a undisputed champion at 154 pounds has it's really not been realistic, because everybody knows that Jaime Munguia was not going to fight them, because Jaime Munguia, was always targeted to move up to 160 pounds or 168 pounds. Also, there's the glaring reality that Jaime Munguia had zero chances to beat any of the guys over there at 154 pounds. I wouldn't take Jaime Munguia over Rosario. I wouldn't take Jaime Munguia over Hurd. I definitely wouldn't take Jaime Munguia over Aries Landy Lara, Jermell Charlo, Tony Harrison, none of them. Only dude that he could have a halfway decent chance of beating, I believe, is Tony Harrison, and that's if he's lucky enough for Tony Harrison to lose concentration and get clocked by something, because Tony Harrison has been knocked out twice, but I still would think that he would pull that off. This fight between Brian Castano and Teixeira would change that. Even if they move over to the zone to do it, because I am fairly comfortable with Brian Castano beating Teixeira. Now, I definitely have to go back, caveat on that, or take that with a grain of salt, because I really do have to go back and look more at Teixeira, go through his fights. I know that he's a tall guy and that he's a tall, kind of rangy fighter, but Brian Castano is a real deal, man. Castano, I would take. I think he was the WBA regular champion, and he fought Aries Landy Lara for the WBA regular championship. But Brian Castano, I think Brian Castano would be a really good fight for any of the guys at 154 pounds. Now, I wouldn't say that I think he would be the best at 154 pounds, but I also wouldn't say that he couldn't be, because of the amount of turnover that there are with those belts at 154, man. And you continually see, I continually see fights where I'm like, oh man, this is going to be easy for this guy. Jermell Charlo, Tony Harrison won. I was like, and I thought Tony Harrison actually won the fight, but hey, my scorecard doesn't count, and Tony Harrison won the fight. I was completely shocked. Jared Hurd fights Aries Landy Lara. I would have thought Aries Landy Lara could beat Jared Hurd. Hey, Jared Hurd walks him. I think Jared Hurd pulled it out with that knockdown in the 12th, but hey, man, Aries Landy Lara, I think it wound up having slipped just enough, and Jared Hurd was tenacious and big, just big enough to pull it off. And I would have never expected, I didn't expect J-Rock. I knew J-Rock had a good chance it was going to be a good fight, but I was a little surprised by how easily J-Rock beat Jared Hurd. And then, of course, Jason Rosario. I thought Jason Rosario's chin was too suspect because of what happened with Nathaniel Gallimore. To my and a lot of other people's surprise, hey man, he beats J-Rock. He knocks out J-Rock. So I wouldn't put Castano out of the mix either, man, because that's just, there's so much parity at the 154 pound division, and to have that 154 pound title, available would be excellent. And I do believe that this is some maneuvering from what I'm hoping this is, or could wind up being, is a little bit of a, the PBC and Fox being able to get in good, and Showtime being able to get in, or the WBO getting in the good graces of, or however it works, those guys being able to work together, because, the fact that the WBO is so just overwhelmingly, the champions and the rankings are so overwhelmingly, not exclusively, but overwhelmingly, of the American promoters, the Matchroom USA, ESPN, God, man, I say ESPN when I mean Top Rank. Ain't that crazy how now like the networks and the promoters are synonymous? When you say ESPN, you mean Top Rank. When you say DAZN, you mean Matchroom, and you mean Golden Boy. When you say Fox, you mean the PBC. When you say Showtime, you mean the PBC. It's like, man, the promoters are not going across those networks very much. But regardless, I hope they can patch that stuff up, and we can get somebody that is we can get a unified 154 pound championship. Now, my best hope for this, and I don't believe this is going to be the case, is that there can be a working relationship between Oscar De La Hoya and Al Haymon. I think that is very, very, very unlikely to take place on a consistent basis. That's why I believe that this, even the fact that they're in a situation where a PBC fighter is getting a shot at that 154 pound belt just seems odd. It seems odd to me. But if it was the case where those guys could partner and work better together, it would be a great thing, because then it increases the chances of there being the one fight that I really do want to see between a Golden Boy fighter and a PBC fighter, and that's the Canelo Alvarez Jermall Charlo fight. And quite honestly, man, Jermall Charlo and Canelo Alvarez is the fight that really should be made for Canelo Alvarez. And as much as Canelo Alvarez is going here and going there, and in talking about legacy, man, dude, your legacy's over there with Jermall Charlo, man, because that's a part of your legacy's over there with Jermall Charlo. That guy came up the same time as Canelo. They're in the same weight, they're the same age, they're in the same weight class. This dude, Jermall Charlo, was definitely one of the best at 160 pounds, if not the second best at 160 pounds. And to have Canelo not fight him, man, is just going to be a glaring hole in that dude's, a glaring hole on his resume. You know what I mean? But anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.